What's up, y'all? It's just Rhonda. Welcome to my channel. We're over here to get on this timeline, y'all. It's Timeine Tea. We're here to discuss the things that are on my timeline and probably yours because we be following the same stuff. What's up, El Cid? I'm so glad to see you here. El Cid is my girl. She's the most supportive. You know, in this YouTube community, we always have to look out for each other. And I feel like El Cid has definitely been there to, give your girl a boost. And if you want to get into some unsolicited advice or some, oh my gosh, she has so many things going on there. She's unscripted. Sometimes you get over there and just run your mouth about things that you want to talk about. And if you want to travel the world and love and be blind about it, she got all the things over there as it relates to Love is Blind. So go ahead and check out my girl El Cid because her channel be fire. How you doing today, Sid? How are you doing? I'm hoping you're well. I am concerned. I feel like that's how I feel today. I feel concerned. This is America and we're very stressed out over here. Every time I get on my timeline, there's something going on as it relates to politics, and I'm not mature enough or prepared for any of the stress. What do y'all do? What do y'all do to get past the stress of, the politics of it all? Because, over here where I am, we're building Alcatrazes and Alligator Alley and things. And I don't know. I'm trying to figure out, like, how do I get, to a place where I can live my daily life, but not be blind to what's going on, because it's really important that we pay attention to, to what's going on around us. I don't want to be there like I don't want to be in a place where I'm just constantly stressed out about what's going on. But like I said, I don't want to be ignorant to it. Are y'all thinking about where are we gonna go? Where are we gonna go if things like pop off in a way that we don't know what's going on? I've never thought about going somewhere else. Hey T, welcome to the channel. You know what it is, y'all. This is T. We be doing Real Housewives of Atlanta on, when do we do it? Mondays at 8:00. I'm trying to get better about, announcing the things that I got going on. But yeah, they didn't have no housewives over here this past Sunday, but that's not going to stop us from talking about them because they stay in the news a little bit. They stay on the timeline anyway, But yeah, where y'all want to go? If we got to get out of here, where y'all want to go? I haven't figured that out yet. As much as I love the Caribbean, I can't stay there. What's up, Shayna? I can't stay there because of hurricanes. At least here, I have land, I'm landlocked, so I have somewhere to go. But where do y'all want to, have you thought about that? Where should you go if we got to get the H out of here? And I would like to gather a group of friends. Like maybe we should have a group chat or a little list put together with suggestions on where we're going to get to if we got to get the hell out of here, so that we can kind of all go at the same time to the same place and it won't be so strange. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. El Cid is very good at organizing. El Cid, I nominate you to start the list of where we gonna go if we got to get the hell out of here. Does anyone want to take American refugees? I don't know. I don't know how they feel about us. I don't know anything. I haven't really seriously ever in my life thought about where I would want to go, but this is the first time, I'm thinking, the possibilities are kind of endless. Or are they? Like El Cid said, what do we do? How do we organize? We need some organization. Anyway, we're here now. So over the past weekend, I ran into, how stuff just pops up on your timeline and you're like, where did this come from? I don't know how I found this man, but I'm glad I did. T, did you get a chance to check out, my boy Sean over there? I call him Detroit Sean. I found Detroit Sean this weekend, and what Detroit Sean does is goes around neighborhoods that are, kind of, I don't want to say poor, but underdeveloped and, urban and such down in Detroit. And he finds these houses that are being overrun by the foliage. Trees just taking over these homes like a jungle. Brazil. I think Brazil. We back to where we going. You know, y'all, if you want to get on the list, Elcid, Brazil. Can you put that on the list? Panama. First choice. I'm asking because I need to investigate these things. I don't know, Tamika. I be around Brazilians a lot and I have to think about that one. I don't know. When you start talking about cultures, Brazil be ghetto, sometimes more ghetto than here. Shame on her for leaving that house like that. What are you talking about? Anyway, okay, so she's probably talking about, Detroit Sean. So Detroit Sean goes around in these neighborhoods. If you have a house on your street that is abandoned or nobody, the banks ain't taking care of it and the grass just gets so out of control. I had that on my house. We used to call it the ghetto on my street. We used to call it the ghetto house. And it was this house that nobody was living in. And the two houses on either side were really beautiful homes. But then you got the ghetto house over here that's been abandoned. So Sean goes out on the weekends, finds these homes. There's like old people who, can't take their yards and stuff. But when I tell you, like, the jungle be jungling, and he goes over there with all his equipment and he cuts all the lawn and all the foliage and all by himself. This man carries things from the backyard to his car. And when you see how grateful these people are, like I said, I was stuck here watching the man cut grass all day. And I'm one of these people that I love a transformation. So I'm going to let y'all see the transformation. This is the first one I've seen. And this is the first one I've seen, and he got me hooked. He went in this man's house. I guess this house is, because there's always a story. This house, I guess this is the only thing that they could qualify for. So they buy these houses as is, and it's just a wreck. The porch is falling down. And I'm going to just show you a little clip of he does the before and after. So you won't really get much of the story here, but this is.
Being with you, and thank you for asking. No, it was great.
Appreciate you, man.
All right, man. Take care.
Be safe, man.
All right, I will.
Yeah.
Okay, my friends, we are done. That was a very long day, but so worth it. Look how this turned out. Yeah, not perfect, but I couldn't keep it like that. So much better. Okay, let's take a look at what this place looked like before. You remember those steps? Check this out.
So that's my man, Detroit Sean. I don't it's not the best situation to be in, but I feel like sometimes, you get these houses and like I said, you can't afford it. You don't have the equipment. What y'all talking about over here? A muscle car, but not. Well, see, this is the thing. Like, I don't know if that was their car because the way those houses are, they're so close together. I don't know if the car was in the neighbor's yard or if it was their yard, but you can see how some of these properties you can't even see the house. And what happens is, when these houses get abandoned and they're covered up with, you know, all these trees, then you have drug dealers moving in to, you know, do business from in the neighborhood. So it gets bad for the people around. I just thought this was so cool. And honestly, we talk about doing things in the community. He's doing this all by himself. And you would be surprised how many people give him a problem for doing a good thing. He's gifted a single mom like a what do you call it? The little slide set, you know, for their kids. His channel, I'm sure, gets a lot of donations, and he has sponsors. So, you know, he comes in and cleans up these properties. And I was like, just a community thing. You know, if we all did like a little bit, now I ain't about to cut no grass, but I mean, you know, if you're already out here with a landscaping company, I cut my grass. And I tell you what, if I got that machine, that lawnmower that Sean has, you would see me riding around my yard cutting the grass. You know, I have a guy, but, you know, I would love to, like, you know, ride around on that lawnmower. But yeah, if you have a landscaping company, I think it would be dope if people like I said, based on what's going on right now, we're going to have to take care of each other as best we can. And this is a good way to do it. You're living in these houses, and some of these houses have so much land behind it. Like you can have a whole nother, you know, house back there. What'd you say? This man just quoted me $700 to trim my trees. You can spend that $700 on one of the machines that Sean got down to the Home Depot, and yes, do it yourself. We do our own, and I don't mind doing that. But when you talk about like having a house next door to you with all of that garbage and stuff, he finds garbage and all kinds of nonsense and, you know, critters. Up there, you got field mice. Down here, we got snakes and who in the hell knows what that might be in the bushes. So yeah, it was just a thing, you know, a feel good thing. I like transformation. So I done sat here a good day watching. Every now he's in my algorithm. So Sean keep popping up and I don't mind it. I'll just sit there and watch him clear out the yard. And, you know, people in Detroit know him. So when they see him out there, you know, they ride up and, you know, very familiar. And maybe they're not getting out, you know, to cut the grass, but people donating money to his, you know, however he has it, his fund over there. But he's getting some sponsorship, not from Lowe's, and he's staying Lowe's, you know, buying equipment. So Lowe's, give the man some money. He's gifted people lawnmowers and things so they can keep up their yard once he's done it. Groundhogs, we got groundhogs too. And somebody just last night put in our community page, it was like 4 groundhogs wandering through the neighborhoods. And them things are not little. Groundhogs are freaking big. So yeah, shout out to Sean for doing his thing in the community and hopefully inspiring others. I'm inspired, you know, at the very least to donate. I wish there was something like around here, you know. Maybe I'll talk to my guy and get him to you know, see what happens. You know what I'm saying? Pay it forward. Are y'all familiar with Actively Black? So Actively Black is a Black-owned clothing company, and it's owned by a former basketball player. You said, Elsie, he did do a house in Sanford. It was Sanford, Michigan. Yeah, it was definitely Sanford, Michigan, because he does the surrounding areas. Most of the stuff he does is in the inner city of Detroit. But you know, imagine if everybody's like community though had like an organization to do that type of stuff. Because there's always like a house that the bank is just letting go, you know, to trash and don't cut the grass and stuff. And if you're the neighbor, there's only so much you can do. You're not going to go next door and cut all them, you know, forests down that's over there. So yeah, if he was talking about Sanford, it was Sanford, Michigan. So Actively Black is a Black-owned clothing company that started with, I don't know if he's partnered with somebody, but he's I had a brain fart. He's a former basketball player. So they just recently partnered up with a Black farm, cotton farmers, to produce for their clothing line. So I was like, this is dope. We talk about, how we need to take care of each other in the community. And a matter of fact, I feel like he had a sponsorship with Shador Sanders, and they didn't like it when he got drafted into the NFL. He kind of got cut out the he got cut out the game because your Nikes and Adidas and all of these bigger companies come in and they won't let these kids, like they're partnered with the NFL. So when you look at opportunities for Black companies like that, they get shut out because we know why they get shut out. But that's something I never thought about. Like when you see a company, I see Actively Black all the time. When you see a company that's trying to do things, and you see them growing to a certain level where they would be able to do even more, they get shut down. So he gets, this deal with Shador, and then Shador gets to the NFL, and then that's gone. So, I mean, not to say that there won't be other opportunities, but that just goes to show you how we get cut out. They did a partnership with, like I said, farmers. They did a partnership with farmers. What did I do? Y'all, I'd be over here pushing buttons and messing up. They did a partnership with some farmers to cotton farmers to, they make clothing. So you definitely need material. You know how that works, how the whole situation works. So he, again, partnered up with cotton farmers. And I just thought this was an interesting story. If I can figure out how to share it, then here we go.
Exclusively American made. But one Black-owned sports brand is showing what's possible. Actively Black is a sports apparel company founded by former NBA player Lanny Smith. He just partnered with a Black-owned and operated cotton farm, Bridgeforth Farms, for a new collection. It honors the fact that the industry was built through the blood, sweat, and tears of Black workers, but only a handful of Black-owned cotton farms remain. So I spoke to Lanny and Troy Bridgeforth about building a Black-owned supply chain.
I think there's so much power in that story beyond just being made in America, beyond the tariff story. There's also this story of reclamation for what that means, of a Black-owned supply chain from the seed to the stitch, from the dirt to the shirt, as I like to say.
Very few things in the country are exclusively American made, but one Black-owned sports brand is showing what's possible. Actively Black is a sports apparel company founded by former NBA player Lanny Smith. He just partnered with a Black-owned and operated cotton farm, Bridgeforth Farms, for a new collection. It honors the fact that the industry was built through the blood, sweat, and tears of Black workers, but only a handful of Black-owned cotton farms remain. So I spoke to Lanny and Troy Bridgeforth about building a Black-owned supply chain.
I think there's so much power in that story beyond just being made in America, beyond the tariff story. There's also this story of reclamation for what that means, of a Black-owned supply chain from the seed to the stitch, from the dirt to the shirt, as I like to say.
Very few things in the country are exclusively American made, but one Black-owned sports brand is showing what's possible. Actively Black is a sports apparel company founded by former NBA.
Now, he went in a little bit further. I'm going to play this too, because I feel like this is information I think we don't think about when you're talking about farming and how much land. I was just reading somewhere where all these corporations are buying up that land in California, where all these all these homes were burned down. I don't know. Sometimes I feel like that was part of the plan anyway. But yeah, so this just a little more information from this particular.
Very few things.
When we look at 1920, there was 16 million acres of land. And present day, you look at, there's only 2 million acres of Black-owned land in the country. That's 14 million acres of land that has just disappeared from the Black agricultural community.
Black farmland lost in that 75-year period or so was worth $326 billion.
Think about all of the wealth that has been extracted from these families.
When we look at 1920, there were 16 million acres of land, and present day, you look at there's only.
That's wild. I mean, I guess that's something that we don't really think about. They're trying to erase us, and when I say they, you know who I mean by they, in terms of taking us out of history, changing the names of things, and so we're like back to where we gonna go. They're sending people right now to countries that they don't have no ties in. So if would like to do some research, in case things get crazy. Yeah, so I thought that was really cool information. I feel like as a mother and as a grandmother, I definitely want to pass this information down to my seeds so they can have something to build on, because these kids is running around here making TikToks and spraying toxic bug spray on the fruit and things instead of doing something, go cut some grass in an old lady's yard or something that makes some sense. So, I will hopefully, we can find ourselves in a place where we're working together, because it's getting crazy out here. Elsie said there's a Black farmer. I'm going to buy meat. He's a meat farmer for houses, and he delivers. I got to get ready. You said for a quarter of a cow? Huh. I don't have nowhere to put all that. That's it depends on how you're set up. We can't get freezers and put them in the garage or whatever. But I mean, just that, like, at least like what's in the meat, and buy. Got it. At least what's in the meat. Hopefully, because we don't know what the heck we eating when we go to. You ever go to the store and then cook some ground beef or some chicken or something, and you're like, that's different. It don't really feel like how it used to feel. I know over here in my neighborhood, I don't hear nothing but roosters. When them eggs went up, these people are from Puerto Rico and various islands. They went and bought them a chicken. So, there's a lot of roosters crowing around here. And for me, it feels good. Like, I'm a morning walker. That all makes me feel good when I'm like in nature. And I'm not even really a nature girl, so to speak. My daughter is. I would like to learn a little bit more. I think we have been trained to learn how to rely on people that don't care about us. So, once Sean comes over there and cuts your grass, like, find a little spot over there where you could plant something. Look into where Black farms are. Like they said, the land that these Black farm owners have is shrinking and shrinking and shrinking. And I don't think it's just Black. I think there's an attack on farmers just in general, so corporations can take control of the land and feed us, I don't know, whatever the hell they want to feed us. Ciao. Where them fans at? Where them fans at? I know where they not at. They not on Carnival Cruise Line. Carnival Cruise Line said they don't want y'all over there. So you can take your fans and go somewhere with them. And these are the little microaggressions. If you could hear that booming in the background, I'm really sorry. Somebody wants to show off their speakers. So cool how you got speakers that boom through the whole neighborhood. Anyway, these are little microaggressions that we, deal with when we want to do something like go on a vacation. And this is the thing. I know we can be a fool. I'm not blind to that. However, everybody can be a fool. It's a lot of fools out there, so it's not just us. I know that's a lot of us on this cruise line. Well, all these people who were ever on this cruise have made Carnival change their guidelines and the rules. Carnival Cruise Line's new rules have sparked backlash from some Black passengers who call them racist, while others argue they're simply stricter policies aimed to curb bad behavior. The cruise line recently enforced its code of conduct banning marijuana. I did not know that you could do that on the cruise. I did not know that. That wasn't a thing when I was cruising. Anyway, even if legal in some states, enforcing 1 a.m. curfew for minors, I don't think that's a bad rule. Go to bed. and it's prohibiting non-battery operated fans. See how they slipped that in there? So no weed. Okay, got that. When you know, a minor, go to bed at 1 o'clock in the morning, get somewhere and, put your kids in the suite. Non-battery handheld fans, because they was over there trying to get their boots on the ground around that cruise. And then people said, put your boots up and your fans up. We're not doing that over here. They citing it's a safety concern after the viral boots on the ground line dance. How is that a safety concern? I'm confused. It's like the line dance is basically the hustle, or what's the other one they be doing at the weddings, child? Anyway, they've also cracked down on Bluetooth speakers. Why would you have your Bluetooth speaker over there? I don't really want to listen to your music, so I'm not mad at that rule. Loud music in public areas and are rumored to be limiting hip-hop raps in clubs, though that hasn't been officially confirmed. See, they got a lot of rules that make sense. We don't need you running around, with your speakers loud, or smoking the ganja down there to the cruise. Everybody's not on that page. But, we taking the boots off the ground and putting the fans away, and we're not going to listen to hip hop. There's other cruise lines, Carnival. Maybe some of these Black millionaires, athletes should get some, put some money together to, organize some type of cruise line so that we can, be able to put our boots on the ground. Some Black cruisers feel these changes unfairly target their culture and have vowed to cancel bookings, accusing Carnival of rebranding away from their demographic. Others, however, applaud the rules, saying they're necessary to reduce rowdiness and protect cruise line image. Some of them, I would assume, I don't know no rowdy weed smokers, so that's, I think that's neither here nor there. If there's kids on the boat, and Carnival is definitely a kids kind of young people cruise line, so that doesn't surprise me. But, you slide that in there when we're going to take away a little bit of hip hop because they're doing too much, and no fans. We don't want no fans over here. No fans, no minors, no one. I don't have a problem. I mean, the fans thing is weird to me. Tom Joyner Cruise Line. There you go. Cancel your cruise over there at Carnival. Just like they did Target, they're going to have to put Carnival on the list. Because you know what? Ain't nobody got no harm in doing no boots on the ground. And I see others, not just us, enjoying that. If I go down my TikTok timeline, there's a family of 4 uncoordinated white folks over there slapping their fans and popping their hips. They're doing the most. They're mad because they can't dance. I guess, child. Are they tipping the ship over? I feel like the boots on the ground is not that type of song. It's just the hustle. What is the one? Electric Slide, child? They bugging. There's other cruise lines. I guess the only way to make them pay, if that's how you want it, if you want to keep it like real clear over there, do the dang thing. Schedule you a Tom Joyner cruise where Tom Joyner be cruising in September, I think. Who's going to take over the cruise? Ricky Smiley? We're going to have to figure something else out. But don't spend your money over there on Carnival because they're playing. They're playing in our face. It ain't minors fighting after 1 a.m. I know some of these kids be wild now. This is a different generation. Have I been on a Carnival cruise? I did. I've been on a Carnival cruise with my kids when they were young. And it's a young people cruise. Like, would I do Carnival now at this point in my life? Absolutely not. Because it's more like a party boat with younger people. So everybody out there snapping and dropping and doing the things. All the people. This particular cruise looked like some type of family reunion because it's very brown. When I went on my cruise, these brown folks was not there. So we got to put Elsid, do you have your list? Please put Carnival Cruise. Scratch them off the list. We're going to boycott Carnival because they won't let us bring our fans. Ridiculous. y'all, let me see. You would do carnival. Yeah, I mean, when school is back in, and yeah, but it's still like gonna be a lot of young people. That doesn't bother me too much. I just, I could sit back and watch them party. But if I'm going to relax, I didn't have any wild things happen on my carnival cruise. It was just a regular cruise. I guess the more mature one, what is it, Royal Caribbean? They not finna let you bring your fans over there either. Watch. I don't need all them people, no way. But if we gonna be making rules that say don't do hip hop and things, then I ain't got to go. Keep your money over somewhere else. Maybe they was doing freak offs. I don't know. So the diddler has support from the ATL girls. Candy, Shamia, Tiny. They all think that Puff is just a freak. That's all. Y'all are picking on him. Apparently, Kim Porter's friend posted this, long little post about, what did she say? Do I have it? Because I hate to be trying to misquote things, but I was surprised because I was like, Kim Porter's friend, you have to wonder about that. Girl, why are you supporting Puff when you really know, if you her friend, you heard what it was. Surprise, surprise. Well, we know how the get-togethers end up. So let me say what this girl said first. What's her name? Ebony Electra. She said, opinions, we all are entitled to them. Mistakes, we all make them. Judging, we all do it. Gossip, we are all guilty of it. Is a higher power. God's will is a higher power. Any opinion, mistake, judgment, or gossip, if it's in God's will, Puff Diddy, then it's his will. In the end, we will all think. What does it say now? I can't see. In the end, what we think does not compare to his will. Who are we to judge? That's God's job. It's all in his hands. Child, I butchered that. Anyway, y'all know what I mean. She over here saying that, Puff is in God's hands and we've all done wrong things. I have never kick dragged somebody down anybody's hotel hallway or any of the other things that Puff is over here being accused of. I am not surprised that Candy and the gang are over here supporting Puff because that's what they seem to do. Candy was over here. Picture this. We talk about freak offs to this and things. Picture this. The housewives have a little trip and everybody in the house was some man called Bolo and they were all freaking off each other. Portia's over there trying to get, down to the lady pond and have somebody come down to her lady pond. All these things were going on. These women were drunk and out of control, and not boots on the ground out of control, but partying and wilding and kissing each other and all this stuff that they do on these housewives vacations, Roa especially. And Candy was over there drinking water while those ladies were drunk and foolish. So I'm not saying she had anything to do with their behavior. I'm just saying Candy be at the freak off sober while y'all be under the influence, making a fool of yourself. So this is her pleasure. She likes to watch. She had a whole tour called a dungeon tour. And I'm surprised, Candy, if you can see the good in Puff, for God's sake, then let Phaedra off the hook. And I'm not a Phaedra fan, but good grief. Candy, Shamia, and Tiny all have daughters. And it's shocking to me. It shouldn't be, but I still always feel weird about that. Like, y'all are the mother of daughters. Cassie was 19 years old. And if any of that was going on and your daughters was involved, I wonder how you would feel after that. I wonder if you would have the same opinion. Or is it all cool that, she wanted it? She's 19. She wanted it so bad for 4 days to be violated by some escort. Child. Shamia started the season of Roa talking about how her ex slapped her out of her shoes. And she was crying and triggered by a text message. She was triggered by a text message. But she wasn't triggered by watching Puff kick Cassie's ass down that hallway, because I was affected. I was very affected, more than I probably should have been, because I don't know the girl. But I was very affected just watching that whole weekend. I was feeling like trash. Riley could never at 19. I mean, what, go to a freak off? And I'm just saying, if you have a 19-year-old daughter, she's not much older than that to be down to the freak off. She would never, maybe only because she's Candy's daughter. Where's Steve Harvey's daughter? She wasn't asked no questions. Somebody questioned her since she was over there dating Puff. Bring a man Puffy age to her mama house. I mean, you know, the rules apply to different people, apparently. I'm like, you know, and they went over and liked the comment as if people weren't, you know, gonna Lori Harvey. Yeah. Where Lori Harvey? Nobody questioned her. She's been real quiet. Tiny went a little bit further. Tiny decided, and she not only was she gonna like the comment, but she gonna add her own 2 cents, talking about they mad at Puff because he's a freak. That's not why we're mad at Puff. I'm tired of them saying that. We're not mad because he's a freak. We're not mad because he likes boys. And y'all, all the jokes about him and boys and him being gay or bisexual, whatever it is, he is queer, because he's pretty much admitted to it at this point, is not the problem. We don't care about that. We care about the kidnapping and the trafficking and the stuff that he absolutely did but doesn't have to pay for. And that is frightening. You know, I said that before. That's scary as hell, because if he doesn't have to pay, he's going to get out and pick up where he left off. And these ladies are over here supporting that. They like it. They unlike it. Stand on business. What you unlike it for? What else with these housewives? I guess talking about Puff stresses me out too. Housewives stuffs. Kelly. Oh, Kelly. So Kelly was over here spending all the bank's money and not paying them back. That's what the rumor is. Now with Kelly, I'm halfway like, is this true? Well, we know it's true because she's a spend-a-lotter. Now she was over here spending. Every event they had, Kelly did half of them. She had, and I mean, those events cost money. These are her housewives, you know, events that they're supposed to have in order to, you know, make the show good. Kelly had one down to the Balmain store. She had a little picnic celebration for her friend's broken heart because Kenya, you know, embarrassed her down to the beauty salon. What else did she have? She had a cash trip. This is her first. Do the people that come for the first time? I don't remember anybody who, like, for the first time did a cash trip. I don't remember that. These things cost, though. And Kelly's in the middle of a divorce. And in the middle of this divorce, she's on the show talking about how, you know, this man is taking her money and, you know, making her businesses suffer from it. So her source of income is, you know, not what it used to be. And Kelly is spending a lot of money, but claiming she's broke. Now, I halfway feel like, is she like putting pause on some of these things because her husband is like, their divorce is not final and they're trying to figure out who gonna owe what? Y'all be running to the altar. I'm not talking about the altar part. Y'all be running to the courthouse to sign the contract, and then when shit goes left, now here you are over here trying to figure out what to do with your businesses. Kelly needs to live within her means. She sure does. But, you know, she also wants to be a housewife. And in order to be a housewife, then she's got to do all these things. Now, according to Us Weekly, Kelly is being sued over alleged five-figure credit debit. According to court documents filed on May 5th, obtained by U.S. Navy Federal Credit Union, filed a complaint against Kelly. The suit alleges that Kelly owes a total of $26,434.86. Jeez. They kind of round that up to 27,000. I'm just saying. The credit union said they demand payment, but Farrell has neglected and refused to make payment upon the account. The suit demands the entire unpaid balance plus attorney's fees. Kelly's rep tells us Kelly has not been served with any paperwork from Navy Federal Credit Union. That's one of them cute answers. What you mean you ain't been served? That don't mean that you know they trying to sue you, girl. This is an account that she shared with her now ex, and that's what I was saying. Like, is she doing that because his name is shared on that account? And she's probably like, I'm not being responsible for all them 26,000, but the way Kelly be spending, I feel like she probably was the one that spent the $26,000. Due to her ex-husband currently being in the middle of a bankruptcy proceedings, we cannot comment on this matter. Now, that makes sense. They're in the middle of a bankruptcy situation, so it makes sense why she didn't pay the bill, because she might not have to based on how these standings are. Why are they not coming after him? Does he not have any money? So, they kept coming after her housewives check. Let's just say Kelly stopped putting dye on this ugly dog. Now, I seen this cute little doggy all painted up, and I didn't do his before picture, but he was cute as he could be, running around just, painted up like Tony the Tiger. That's not what Kelly's dog is giving over here. I don't know what's happening with Kelly's dog, but it feels like it's expensive, and it feels like an expense that she could just let the dog be regular and send that money around to Navy Federal, because, girl, that's embarrassing. I'm just saying. Kelly got on some $10,000 boots. Why do I know that? Because Phaedra said them boots was $10,000. So that'd be half the bill right there, Kelly. This would be, I guess, part of her storyline when she comes back, because we want to know, like, what happened after the divorce. I don't know. I can't remember if she's finally divorced. I don't know if her second restaurant is open yet. We don't know anything about that, but what we do know is Navy Federal Kelly wants their coin. They said you got it and they would like to get it back. What else? Something else that I wanted to talk about with these housewives. Shamia, she was over here with this young lady talking, explaining herself about why she was down to the housewives making a fool of herself. Okay, just a couple few things. What kind of layover do you have that you no sound, you couldn't hear it? Oh, y'all couldn't hear it? That's terrible. Let me try it again. Let me see if y'all can hear it. Hold on. Everything was going so good. Did y'all hear it that time? Let me know if you can hear it. No? Why is it muted? I don't understand. Well, okay. So so rather than have me sit here and try to figure that out, I'll let you know what she was saying. First, she said that when she came back from Miami, when she came back from Grenada, she had a layover in Miami. So remember when Britt asked her, like, you didn't go back to your sick kid, weren't you hanging out with Kelly in Miami? And Shamia is saying that she hung out with Kelly in Miami because she had a layover. And so, oh hey Mo, welcome to the channel. She said she had a layover in Miami, and that's why she was hanging out with Kelly, and she had her mother and her kids, her family, flown over to Miami, so she just hung out there. And I was like, what kind of layover is that? Have y'all ever had a layover that you had time to fly somebody in, Shamia? Or was you just hanging out with Kelly in Miami? I feel like, Shamia, I don't think I believe that. I've never had a layover. You a couple of hours maybe. Sometimes you've got to stay overnight, but you thought it would be a great idea to fly your baby who was just sick, put her in an airplane, fly her to Miami. That makes sense. Just for y'all to have to fly back to Atlanta? Or did you drive back to Atlanta? I don't know. I think Shamia is on bullshit. And then she addressed the whole who set up Charles and Angela conversation. She says she has no belief at all that it's Phaedra. She doesn't understand why Phaedra would even do something like that. So for her, she doesn't know. And then she accuses Angela of setting this whole thing up herself. And I'm like, first of all, stop saying why would Phaedra have a reason. I don't feel like Phaedra really has a reason to do the things that Phaedra does. I think Phaedra just does stuff because she's Phaedra. Angela seems to think Phaedra is jealous because she's got a husband. I don't think that's it. I think Phaedra is jealous of Angela. And her and Portia and Shamia, have this little alliance to take people out. And Angela happened to be the person that they came to take out. Mo said, I saw her post about the layover and her kids, and I believe her mom checked into a beautiful hotel. Yeah, but why would you fly your kid to Miami and she's sick? The whole reason when she was in Grenada, the whole reason why we gave her all of these tears that we gave her, I'll be behind you no matter what. Her and Britt was going to be cool no matter what. She stayed in Miami, flew her kid down there, her sick kid. There's nothing like if you have a compromised immune system, I feel like the worst place for you to be is in the airport. Maybe she flew a private jet. It seems like a lot. It seems like a whole lot. Just go home. Jeez. T said they mad because Angela was the breakout star. Yes. And I feel like Shamia thought it was going to be her. Portia thought it was going to be her until she couldn't film in that house no more. So Portia had to scramble to figure out what she was even going to do, what her storyline was going to be. So she's mad at Drew. She's mad at Shamia and, whatever the hell Portia is over there doing. Angela, we at first were like, what the heck? She's kind of strange. What is she talking about? But she ended up being a fan favorite. And Phaedra, y'all brought her back over here. Y'all brought her back over here. And this is the type of stuff she does. And based on the way Candy is over here caping for Diddy, I kind of don't even care that Phaedra came back over here. But y'all better watch her because she had this man's information. There was too many reasons to be suspecting Phaedra. They probably flew private. Maybe. I'm just saying, doesn't that seem like a lot for a layover, though? If you know your kid is sick, you're on this cash trip, you still working, you still filming for this show. So in the midst of all that, you're going to fly your whole family to Miami to do what? You've been in Grenada already, partying. Don't you be ready to go home after a trip? After a trip is, even if, you're in paradise, and you're like, oh, I hate that this is over, but I kind of just want to be in my house, especially since my husband called me frantically because the nurse tried to freeze the baby. And then, we're mad at Britt for saying baby. That's what they're saying. Some people are mad. I'm not mad because I feel like she didn't say nothing about her baby. She said, why was you in Miami instead of taking your ass home with your baby? That's, we were shedding tears over how you felt so bad yesterday or day before. Was she down there getting slathered up at the jig, the jog, the Jim Jam, where they were over there with, the black oil? Did she have oil in her booty crack too? Just saying, Shamia. What else did she say on that video? I hate that y'all couldn't hear it. She talked about, what was the third thing she talked about? Her and Portia's friendship. Her and Portia agreed not to talk about each other publicly. I mean, Shamia and Portia are not real friends because they're cut from the same cloth. And if you have somebody jealous of you behind your back, Shamia, a little bit, I'm just saying, I don't know. If Shamia's that girl, she's got all these friends, and, Portia's her best friend. And her best friends be over there licking booty holes because that's what they said. So is that what you do with your best friend? I don't know, but it sounds like the kind of behavior they be having over at the freak offs. I'm just saying. And you wonder if she been to one. Shamia, Candy, Tiny. We know Tiny did. Tiny was over there with Tip, kidnapping the ladies and drugging them. Tip over there putting his toes in somebody's cootie cat. I guess, child. Anyway, y'all, Dr. Heavenly is running for public office. And the funny thing is, I know I'm supposed to hate this. Let me see before I get in this story. What'd you say, Mo? Mo said, yeah, I understand. Most people want to go home after a trip. It's definitely unclear how long they were on this layover. Days, girl. Long enough for them to fly the whole family down there to the airport in Miami so her and Kelly can continue to party on. Kelly need to take her ass home. She got 4 kids at the house and the publicist is the babysitter. I'm just saying, I did not make this up. This is what they are over there doing. Dr. Heavenly, y'all. Dr. Heavenly is running for public office. And I feel like I'm supposed to hate this a lot, but I don't really know. I'm kind of torn, to be honest. And Quad is her campaign manager. I'm just saying. Dr. Heavenly and Quad over here down to the Senate. What does this say? I've been reading and fumbling. Let's see how I handle this one. Dr. Heavenly Kimes officially launches a run for Georgia State Representative in District 93 at People Exclusive. She went to People Magazine. That means it's for real. Our people deserve real representation, someone who understands both the struggles and the solutions, she tells People. Quad Webb is serving as her campaign manager. The cosmetic dentist and entrepreneur will launch her campaign at a July 8th rally in downtown Atlanta. Kimes says she's focused on healthcare, education, small business support, and real representation. I'm not a career politician. I'm a mom, a doctor, a business owner, and I'm not afraid to stand up for what I believe in. Kimes, 54, says in a statement, I'm running to serve and I'm ready to work. I've spent my life helping people build confidence, start businesses, and take control of their futures. She says, now I'm bringing the same passion to the state capitol. District 93 deserves someone who's not just talking, but doing. Her campaign Kimes notes will focus on healthcare access, economic prosperity, education reform, and small business support. Issues she says she's passionate about, and after years of working on the ground with patients and entrepreneurs. I mean, I feel like Dr. Heavenly, we got Trump, so anything goes. Thank God she's not in my district. Listen, I don't know. Like I said, I'm torn. I feel like one thing she is familiar with is business and healthcare, and they do a lot of community work. I feel like she's probably learned a lot over the years, and I don't know. And Quad is her manager. I'm not mad at that either. I don't know who her opponent is, and she's definitely not in my district. But if she's going to focus on, small businesses and healthcare and all the things that she mentioned, then y'all are going to have to hold Heavenly accountable, because you're right. She's right there. She's right there with people. I don't see a lot of us running, in offices that have as much, support. Like, as much as you hate Dr. Heavenly, she got a lot of people that love her too. And she's a hot mess. But like T said, I mean, it's a hot mess at the top. So I don't know that that's necessarily, it's not an excuse. It's just, it's just a thing. Like I said, I'm not sure if I'm mad at it for real. I'm in here. Let me see if y'all can hear this. Now I'm kind of disappointed because I'm feeling like y'all ain't gonna be able to hear. I'm gonna play it. Y'all let me hear it. Oh, can y'all hear that? Let's see. I'm gonna try again. This is definitely not the disaster that I had the other day. The other day was terrible. So
we had
oh my God.
I thought about it. I said, I ain't really got no issue with that lady. Like, I don't. Like, yeah, there were certain things I didn't like, and I'm sure she can say the same thing about me. I was like, but bitch, Claudia was a good motherfucking time. Claudia was a good time. I want to work with you again. We had lightning in the bottle. We just fucking did. The space is there for us. Maybe Iyanla need to come in and sit down with all of us. I don't want no niggas involved. But here is what I'm saying out loud and in color. I want a deal where all of us come in equal pay, equal say so, neutral producers. We will work again if you're open to it. We love it.
Thank you for that. I just want people around me to work to make money. And I really hated when it takes me left because I just think I always get blamed for everything. And I always loved your personality. I love signing on. And who cares if I didn't get along with someone else? That had nothing to do with me and you. Correct. And I think I got a lot of that. And it really hurt my heart too. And like, there's no way in hell that something that it's global, you guys.
Yeah. We got UK people, Africa people.
Yeah. Africans, South Africans, Europeans. Like, I still to this day get asked about it. So I'm glad you I always wanted to.
Some professional differences, but it was never that deep to the point where I hate that bitch. Like, I quit before it got far. I just left. So directly out of my mouth to your ears, Claudia Jordan is not the direct rebate. Well, I quit over $250. I didn't feel appreciated by Fox, so them hoes wouldn't even give me no goddamn. I said, if you won't give me the $250, can I have some health insurance? And you got on Twitter, was like, well, bitch, get it from SAG. You didn't. No, I wanted it from them hoes. But nevertheless, let's build. Fuck it. You from Tasha K. Post this, bitch. Positive. I want to work with you again.
I do too.
And let's do it again and again and again and again. You want something to download them?
So did that make y'all feel all warm and fuzzy inside? Funky and Claudia have shook hands and they have made up. Listen, I agree with you, El Cid. There's no way I would work with him again because of the way everything played out. I feel like that group, him, Claudia, Tasha K, there's always mess revolving around them. I don't know what that's all about. I mean, I guess they're just messy people. But he got up here and decided he would like for them to work together again. Y'all looking for that? Would y'all want to see another TGIF? Are you here for another round of Claudia and Al? Is Al coming? He'll air out all your dirty laundry again. I mean, I feel like Funky has the habit of going off, the edge and then saying sorry. And I'm kind of a grudge holder for real. If you go off on me the way they have, both Claudia and Funky got a mouth on them, both of them. So I don't know. I don't miss TGIF. I did not like Al at all. Claudia, I was there to see Funky, but he has his own show, and I don't always watch his show because he can be a lot. And I agree. I think she said what she was supposed to say. He put her on the spot. She wouldn't have looked right if she would have said probably like what was really on her mind. And I think it's in her best interest as an entertainer to just keep it cute. But now he want to work with her again and again and again and again. I guarantee we could go back to when it was all falling out and he was calling them hoes and he was glad to be over there making money on his own channel and blah, 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 blah. I know we're not supposed to discuss each other on these YouTube streets and we don't normally, but I think one thing, Funky may be a little bit elevated. He's not just a YouTuber. So, yeah. Speaking of YouTubers, did y'all see Armand Wiggins over there at the courthouse pouring lather and baby oil all over himself? All of them jumping around. And he went on his channel and said this is not like the headlines are misinforming and we weren't celebrating. This is not like what it was. I've been doing this the whole time on my channel. And I kept up with Diddy because I wasn't trying to talk about it. I feel like these 2 times that I've been over here is the first time I've really brought it up. But I followed the Diddy trial with Kempire because it was just not confusing. Armand and Mims, I watched them a little bit, but they were actually at the courthouse, and I was not trying to be that involved in whatever was going on over there. But Kempire had a really clean breakdown, quick and concise. Armand, Mims, and some other YouTubers were over. I guess they had a whole media section at the at the courthouse. And when the verdict came out, Armand and his fans were over there doing their baby oil thing. And he was upset that the media presented it to us as a celebration, but it looked like a celebration. That's what I thought I was looking at. Armand want folks to see his chest. I mean, it's a nice chest. I feel like he's always got tight little shirts and things on. Yeah, but I was like, it looks like a celebration. It looks like no matter what it is, you can't be shocked that that's what people think it is. So that little group of people over there, they stay in a lot of mess. So Funky is attached to Dr. Heavenly and Tamar and all the names, the friend group. It sounds like a lot of mess over there. So That's all I got for today, y'all. I had fun over here. I'll be back Thursday. We're gonna do this, on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 7 o'clock. If y'all have a story like, what do they call it? Human interest. If you have a human interest stories, I think those are the best stories. So if you run across something, especially the stories that puts us in a good light and trying to educate us on community and all those good things, let us know who we need to be boycotting. I feel like let's go ahead over there and talk to Pastor Jamal. Elsid, I hate to keep calling you out, but these people are like in your vicinity. Pastor Jamal needs to get on, the Carnival cruise. Tell us what we're supposed to do. I'm not planning a cruise. And if I do plan one, I won't be going on Carnival. So tomorrow, I'm going to get y'all with meet the judges and the designers of Project Runway. This is right up my alley. I'm super excited to be reviewing Project Runway. Project Runway will be live on Sundays. Let me step in out of my box and get over here and get to these lives. Tomorrow won't be a live. I'm just going to, introduce the new contestants, and I'm going to add myself. I will be one of the contestants this season on Project Runway, and I want y'all to let me know. When you get over there, if you're, a Project Runway fan, you let me know if I'm in the top, if I'm in the bottom, or if I'm safe. I will not be eliminated, because if I eliminate myself, then I won't be over here talking to y'all. Like the video. Thank you for coming. Subscribe to my channel. Tell your friends. Share it and do all the things. And I'll see y'all when I see you. Bye.